Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to VALORANT Rostermania. Plenty of confirmations from around the VCT right now, but also Ye given his opinion on why he did not join the OpTic core over at NRG. He probably still wanted to, but the buyout situation was just too much for NRG to consider paying. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that on loads of great support over the last couple of days. As usual. Firstly, this from X10 Esports, that's X10 Crits potentially making their return. We know this team got into a lot of drama with the players and not paying them, or there was something going on like that, and they of course went eventually to Xerxia, or actually no, the drama was about the Champions 2021 when they had all the sticker money, or not sticker money, but the kind of a crowdfunding money that came through from all the skins that were sold, and I think they took basically all of that money for themselves and didn't dish it out at all to the players. So yeah, definitely lots of drama around the organization. Apparently, though, they're going to, well, as a Thai organization, are returning, but now with a Singaporean roster. So pretty interesting stuff. That's what's happening on the X10 Esports front that may still be returning for Tier 2. Now, Furia confirm they're kind of one of their key talents for the roster. That's none other than Wazera, right? I mean, this player has caused a lot of big stir really over the last year or so, and yeah, he's officially joining Furia going forward. So there's going to be some really solid squads in this Americas League. Of course, mostly on this channel we talk about what's happening in the North American side. Lots of drama, of course, in those organizations, but in South America as well. Loud, MIBR, Furia, they're all coming up with their teams. Of course, Leviathan, Crew as well. We'll see in a second what they might be up to here. But yeah, Wazera is a target of Furia, and they've locked him in. So that's definitely a good pickup for them. Gen.G, though, this is, of course, in the APAC side. They confirmed their full team. Elmer Putty, you guys may remember Elmer Putty, actually. I think he's been with Gen.G for quite some time, but he used to do these Counter-Strike videos, breaking down certain plays and strats and stuff. Always thought they were pretty good. The team, though, is honestly pretty good. Meteor, King, Intro, TS Echo, and Secrets. Some good names here. I think that certainly King and even Meteor, I think, pretty underrated player at the end of last season. So that is the Gen.G squad for the upcoming season. Maybe not, expected to win championships or anything, but still a pretty good team, no doubt. And then this is Leviathan's announcement as they confirm that cNed will be joining them, as you guys can see right here. So he is going to be joining the team. Our understanding is he's probably going to be on the bench of this team, right? He's not going to be on the starting roster. He's going to be sitting there on the bench doing his best to to get a spot back in the league. And we will actually see here in a second that it seems like he's been linked to Tier 2 organizations and Tier 2 rosters as well, which is quite a good sign, just because if he's on the sub bench for Leviathan and then he's also playing in the Tier 2 Ascension League, then that shows that it can be done, which I think is something we want to see really going forwards. Now, this from FNS teaser, we'll talk about the NRG situation now because these guys went away for a few days, as you can see. Chet here, Victor, I don't think Crashies was there, but FNS and Som, of course. Basically, the NRG guys that are going to be there going forwards. He's even got the NRG shirt on here. Chet, of course, the coach of the team. He was there for a time and then is now returning under the VALORANT team with the OpTic core, with Som there as well. Good friends with all these guys. So, yet to be confirmed, this team officially, but look, it's going to happen. FNS, Crashies, Victor, Chet as the coach. Som is going to say on that smoke scroll, no Marved, of course, and then Ardis replacing Ye is the current understanding. Now, Ye was talking on stream actually about exactly why he didn't go to NRG as well, because that's what we thought. Why not? If the core is going to go to NRG anyway, why not just reform the team over there? Bring Ye along as well, get Marved along or whatever, and just, NRG buys out the whole team. They go from OpTic to NRG, and it's obviously sad for OpTic, but at least the team could stay together, because they were so good. I'm sure they probably wanted to stay together to some respect. Ye even said that in the early days of Rostermania, that there was still a chance they would stay together, but it was looking relatively unlikely, effectively implying that he wanted to, but things did kind of fall through. But it turned out really the OpTic situation had just set him such a massive buyout. You can understand exactly why, but probably as a result of this huge buyout that Ye had attached to his name, it wasn't feasible when OpTic didn't make it in for, one organization to buy out everyone. No one was going to buy the entire team just because these players had obviously pretty big buyouts of their own, and Ye's was more than likely astronomical. So only one team could really make that happen, and Sentinels maybe considering it, 100 Thieves, of course, I think maybe at least to ask the questions, but Cloud9 were the one in the end that had the money, and NRG, I suppose, didn't either have the resources or didn't want to spend the extraordinary amount of money to get Ye as well, and in the end it didn't necessarily come down so much to where Ye wanted to go, although I'm sure Ye did make a decision to some degree, because he said, look, it's not going to be EG, they're not going to pay the buyout, but of the organizations that could pay the buyout, I guess he chose the one that he wanted in Cloud9, but also when your buyout is that big as he implies, he didn't really necessarily necessarily have as much choice as he wanted, just because it comes down to which org is going to pay the buyout from OpTic.
Did you ever consider going with the rest of the OpTic boys? I mean, that probably wasn't a realistic possibility. I mean, my buyout was just gonna be too high.
If they push close,
Like, all of us together, like, would just be too expensive, I'm not gonna lie. You'll always be a part of OpTic in our hearts. I appreciate that, thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed while time lasted, you know? He says, so Envy own OpTic. So why didn't Ye just partner with Envy? Because Envy and OpTic... wait, I don't even know how to reply to that. Wait, I'm confused. Wait, what is this, bro?
I like drone.
Wall here.
All day.
Flash. Nice. One more lower. Nice, good trade. K was there as well. Flash. Okay.
Last guy's lurking B.
So what do you guys think about this, right? Basically saying there that, yeah, there was no way the team was going to stay together because his buyout was just too immense. There was no chance that NRG were going to be able to pay all that money for the other guys and the salaries. And of course, Ye's not going to be on a salary, right? They're going to be paying him on Cloud9 a big salary, and they had to pay OpTic a massive buyout to get him off the team in the first place. So, look, makes sense. I guess, I don't know how long ago OpTic set that buyout, but probably did a good job there to make sure they got maximum money. But what it does mean is that having sold Ye and the rest of the guys, they weren't really going to end up in the same place because it would have just been too much money for like NRG, for example, to realistically commit. So did Ye end up where he really wants to be? Obviously, like, I'm sure he likes the NRG team, the potential over there with Ye, Vanity, like, Leaf, Zyppan, and Zelsis, of course. And I'm sure he knows those guys pretty well and knows what they're capable of. But would it, is that his number one team? Would he have really chosen that team just because, maybe he did have some choosing power, but at the end of the day, it came down to who could pay the buyout. And if Cloud9 were willing to do that, as they were, then Ye was probably just going to go there. Maybe he didn't really get too many options. It was like the TenZ situation. TenZ was an unrestricted free agent, so he could have gone anywhere. He wanted to stay on Sen. They, of course, have kept him, but if 100 Thieves gave him an offer, or if, EG, for some reason, gave him an offer, he could have just gone and joined those teams freely, whereas Ye was bound to his contract, so he finds himself in a more difficult position where his choice doesn't maybe matter so much. And we've heard that Nadeshot said that, whoever gives OpTic the big buyout for Ye, they're going to be happy with their investment, but it's going to be a big investment, right? And obviously NRG, despite having a lot of resources, thought, look, they probably paid as much for the entirety of, FNS Victor, Crashies, and Chet as they would have done for Ye on their own, or on his own. Maybe even more, right? I don't even know how it would have gone, but they probably thought, what, we can replace Ye kind of for a much cheaper price, and financially, that's the best way to do it. So do you think in the end, after saying all that, is this really where Ye wanted to end up, or is it just kind of he was bound by the contract that was, of course, over the top of him? And there's still some questions about dapr right now. Is he going to be able to go anywhere? Like, we don't think as it stands he's going to join Evil Geniuses. So I know some of you guys were saying that the reason he's not on the sub bench for Sentinels is because he's going to join EG. But the current rumor is not that he's going to join EG. He still might, but we think that Ethan's going to be there and Superman's going to be there, and there might not be spot for dapr on that team. So if there's not, then is he going to be the sub for Sentinels? Is he going to go to tier 2? Still questions that need to be answered here, right? And of course, everyone's giving the Cloud9 guys the super team kind of name and function and everything. And yeah, of course, a very sensible and good pickup for them. But do they quite qualify? Look, it remains to be seen over time. And we're going to have some tournaments in due course, right? There's going to be some off-season stuff that these teams can play in if they want to, until the real stuff happens in February when everyone goes to Sao Paulo. Now, speaking of tier 2, this is what we're currently seeing from Flynn's spreadsheet here. This is only a snippet of it, but definitely worth mentioning. So as you can see, the All Knights team, also the 6 Karma team, is potentially being linked to cNed right now. This is far from guaranteed or exactly what's going on, potentially new players getting involved here. But yeah, cNed seemingly is getting linked to potential tier 2 rosters. This is something that I've wanted to see, because if you're a substitute on a tier 1 team, let's say you're a Sick, for example, do you just want to be sitting there as the sub and not playing at all? Like, you don't really. You want to be competing in something, competing ideally in tier 2. In other esports, this is how it works. If you are a tier 1 substitute, you can compete in the tier 2 Ascension League, as it's called here in Valorant. So why not that being the case? And of course, if you're, for example, you know, a Zoms or a Sinatraa or a Shroud or something, like they want to form a team in tier 2, but they're not sure if they can do it with their organizations. Can their orgs have an academy team? Maybe, maybe not. Probably not from what we've seen so far, but it's not like there aren't big organizations out there looking to sign players. But some of these orgs may have locked in some guys. So we can see here, this is what the Guard are doing. Now, the color on the left-hand side indicates how likely this is to happen. We can see here that this is about a 50% chance that the Guard run it back with Jonah, Trent, Valen, and Net. Net's obviously a bit higher than Valen on this particular one. And we can see TSM as well. They're looking to build around Rossi, GMD, potentially Nismo, Xander, BCJ coming in as trials. But many organizations here starting to, well, getting taken note of, right? We've got Oxygen Academy, Dark Ratio, V1 might be back in business, G2 potentially looking to build a roster in NA or Europe, Exit as well looking to come in and make the return. So probably tier 1 substitutes can play in tier 2 if they get a spot on one of these teams. But the issue with that is that if you're, okay, let's say you're sick, for example, do Sentinels have to loan him in theory to another organization so we can compete in tier 2? Or how exactly does that work if they can't have their own academy roster, which you think would make more sense? So definitely some questions still to be raised here, but it is becoming a little bit clear now what these teams and players are deciding to do. But Rostermania for tier 2 is only just around the corner. I just thought I'd bring up this, that people were putting together the kind of rankings for the upcoming season. Cloud9 for most people is up here in S, which I think is understandable. But NRG, in my opinion, is not too far behind at all. But very much interested your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. And just to mention this quickly, Challengers Brazil has now been confirmed. These are the regional leagues as they were before. So the VRLs, as they were used to be known as. Now they're called Challengers. This is kind of like the other part before you get to Ascension. And that's starting relatively soon here, right? So yeah, already we're going to have some Valorant in action very shortly in terms of who gets into Challengers, then who gets into Ascension, and then beyond. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.